The Arnold Clark Reel sale is now on.
Welcome to the Football Show and this Old Firm special. It's the match everybody is talking about and looking forward to. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to have your company on YouTube, Facebook and of course on Twitter as well. Our guests, Alan Rough and Barry Ferguson, will look ahead to the big game, probable lineups, odds, predictions, and absolute certainty on this programme. We'll not be mincing our words in this one. Of course, our reporter Gabriel Antoniazzi has set the scene at Ibrox.
Welcome to Ibrox, where tomorrow at midday we will see the second Old Firm game of the season between Celtic and Rangers. It looks set to be a pivotal match in the title race, as Rangers are already 3 points behind the Scottish champions and haven't beaten them here since 2012. When the two teams met earlier this season, it ended 1-0 to Celtic thanks to an Olivier Cham goal, with an inspired Alan McGregor keeping the score at 1. Celtic have won each of their last 4 visits to Ibrox, and if Brendan Rodgers wins this time round, he'll be the first Celtic manager to win 5 games at the Rangers ground in a row since 1909. Since their last home league game against Celtic, Steven Gerrard's men have conceded just 8 goals in their 14 games at Ibrox, and never more than once in a match. Rangers have won just 2 of their last 6 league games, but victory would see them level on 42 points with Celtic. The Hoops, on the other hand, have won 4 of their last 5 in the league, but have been less than convincing away from home this season. The champions will only have 750 fans at the Old Firm match after both clubs decided to restrict visiting allocations, but Brendan Rodgers has claimed that having a larger support could work against Rangers. In terms of starting lineups, Tom Rogic is of course away with the Australia squad, so he'll be unavailable, meaning Celtic midfield is likely to pick itself with captain Scott Brown, Callum McGregor and Ryan Christie in there. The only other injury concern is Kieran Tierney, who has not played in the league since the 5th of December, meaning either Johnny Hayes or Emilio Izaguirre could start at left back. For Rangers, it is a race against time for Scott Arfield and Ryan Kent to be fit, and they will look towards Alfredo Morelos to lead their line. He has never scored against Celtic, but he is the top scorer in Scotland. Could he make the difference tomorrow?
Yes, Rangers against Celtic, sometimes the hype outweighs what we eventually get fed over a 90-minute period. Barry, you know better than most the Old Firm build-up. Everybody's got their say on this one. We've already had our say on the atmosphere. It will be 97-98% Rangers fans.
Yeah, it'll be certainly a strange one for the Celtic players because they're used to having 8,000 fans there. I'm sure it'll work the benefit of the Rangers players, having the vast majority of the fans. But listen, the game's won and lost on the pitch. Sometimes when you go on that pitch, you try to forget what's round about you and just concentrate on winning a game of football.
As ever, there's always a bit of spin on it, Ruffy, and Brendan Rodgers says, well, it might work against him only having 750 fans in there, might inspire his side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it works both ways for the two sides. Barry's right, you know, when you've got the majority of supporters behind you, when you're winning the game, you know, that keeps you on a high to go, but it can work the other way as well. If you go behind and the support turn on you a wee bit and then the players have to react to it. But no, I think both sets of players know exactly what it's all about.
I think this game is all about the players. It's all about the quality of players on show on this game, Barry. Steven Gerrard has asked his players to make one last push to end this 2018 on a high. He needs players to step up to the plate. You can't just rely on one man to win the game for you in Alfredo Morelos.
Yep, I listened to his interview after the Hibs game and I liked it because he's called them out and says, listen, I know there's a few niggles and a few people struggling with injuries. Listen, I need people to come with me. There's a massive game. I need you firing all cylinders for this game. As I keep saying, Rangers can't keep relying on one guy up front. I think guys in the midfield, wide areas, even the centre-backs for set pieces need to step up and pop up with a goal or two because we can't keep relying on one guy because, let's be honest, he has been a top man this season. Apart from Alan McGregor, he is the star man for Rangers and he's Rangers' best player.
I mean, he's a standout, Ruffy.
Yeah, he is, you know, and you can see the confidence growing with him. You know, he's getting into chances now. Yeah, he will miss chances, like all good strikers do, but he's beginning to hit the target. He's beginning to see, you can see that confidence in him, you know, when it's put in front of him to put the ball away. And but the big question is everybody will be asking, can he do it in a big game?
Yeah, 3 goals in the last 3, 20 goals in total this season for Morelos. Well, the bookmakers Ladbrokes had a press release yesterday just basically suggesting that this could be one of the biggest games to bet on in the history of Scottish football, such as the interest in Rangers and that long journey back. I think Rangers fans are wondering when the balance of power is going to shift. Obviously, that slip up against Hibernian allowed Celtic to capitalise against Aberdeen. They won the match by 4-3 and now have a 3-point advantage. Celtic have a game in hand, and this one is at Ibrox. So let's look at the odds on this and see if you're going to be one of those many punters looking at it. Rangers 29-10, Morelos 6-1 to get the the goal and a Rangers win. Of course, then we just thought we'd put in all the other mad ones that were released by the bookies. Rangers to win the double, 33-1 to remain unbeaten, 125-1. Rangers to beat Celtic in all the remaining league games, 33-1. There's a few in there that might force you to release some cash, and there's others that you're thinking, I need to be mad. Overall, Rangers not favourites in this one, despite the fact they're at home.
Yeah, I'm not surprised they're not favourites. For me, Celtic are still the best team in Scotland with the strongest squad. Rangers are getting closer, there's no doubt in my mind about that, but they're still a wee bit behind. I've said it plenty of times in this programme, Peter. I still think Rangers are 3 or 4 players away from a real challenge for Celtic.
I don't think Rangers are near the consistency level yet, but I think on a one-off game, if the players turn up and they take their chances, that they'll think they can win this game. You know, on a one-off game, Barry will know better than anybody. You know, stranger things have happened, but I think with Rangers at home, if the big players come up with the goods, they've got a chance.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the obvious, Ruffy. Here's the odds on it, and see what you think of this. Celtic 19-20 at the moment. Edouard to score a hat-trick. Of course, he's done that before. 20-1. Celtic to win the treble. 11-8 now with the bookmakers. Celtic to win all their remaining Premier League games. 80-1. To remain unbeaten. 4-1. And of course, I don't know why the bookies have released that one to win 10 in a row at 1-2. It's a long way off. A lot of things can happen before Celtic think about league titles. I think everybody's looking on this one, Barry, and saying, well, first of all, Rangers have to put down a marker.
Yep.
They have to see where the gap is, but I think psychologically if Rangers could win this one, despite the fact Celtic have a game in hand, psychologically, to finish off the year and then get into a transfer window and suggest, look, this is Rangers level with Celtic, a wee bit of ambition. This one could go either way because other teams can take points.
Yep, I think that's the aim for certainly the manager, to finish on a high, because I think he's desperate to get to the January transfer window. As I said, I think he's looking to bring in a certain quality player, which I think is needed. But listen, it's a wonderful game to play in. These guys should be looking forward to it. Waking up on a Friday morning, that's when the butterflies start.
Yeah. Were you scared in your first one?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, my first 2 or 3 Old Firm games passed me by. Just with the shock and the pace of the game. The atmosphere was electric. And then my experience, you grow into it. And then after that, I thought I'd done okay in a few of them.
Yeah. Did you feel, you mentioned there the experience of it, because I think that's going to be the key as well to the players that are going to play in the game. Yep. You know, 3 or 4 games into it, you now know the pace, you now know what to expect, you now know that there's going to be a crunching tackle early on to set a marker down, and then you slowly but surely get into the way your team's going to play. Was there a sense from you in any of the games as you get more and more experienced, right, I now know how to drive this game?
Yeah, look, at the start you're getting told for various people, listen, leave a marker on who you're playing against. Now I'm thinking first couple of minutes you just go and stud somebody down the back of the calf. It's not about that, it's about going and dictating it and being confident and making sure always your first pass, tackle, header, it's on cue. That was the thing that I learned pretty quickly. As I say, the first 2 or 3 games, I get caught up in it, if you know what I mean. I get caught up and try to chase people about, run out of position, where maybe I should have asked the experienced boys, listen, what's the key to this? Is it to sit in your position or go and try and make something happen? But as I got into it, as I get a bit older, I learned to deal with it a lot better.
Okay, let's look at the probable lineup. You think this will it deviate much, the Rangers lineup, from the one that you've selected here?
Well, I think experience is key. You're looking at Worrell. I think he might go with Macaulay because of big match experience. There's 3 positions there that I'm unsure about. I'm looking at left back. I know Flanagan, a lot of people might question that, but again, Flanagan has played in big games for Liverpool. He is an experienced player. And then I look up at the left side again with Middleton. I'm unsure whether he might play him. I really like him. I think he's got something about him, but something's telling me he might bring in Lafferty. Now, Lafferty's Rangers career's second time round hasn't really kicked off, but he has got experience in Old Firm games, and that is key, because Rangers, for me, do need experience in that team, because it's a massive game for them. They can't lose this game. So that's the 3 that he might change or he might differ for that.
Of course, it's all, there could be, as ever with these games, right up into the final minutes. Suddenly there's a buzz about the place. Oh, Goldson's injured, he hasn't made it.
Yep.
Maybe in comes Macaulay. Lafferty, maybe he thinks to himself, well, I need goals from elsewhere. Maybe he's the man. These things change and alter a manager's thinking, Ruffy.
Oh, he'll know exactly. They'll know by now, what his 11 is, obviously, unless somebody gets injured before the game. But, I think this is, I agree with Barry, this is an experienced one. This is one you're relying on players who are not going to buckle under whatever happens, because you never know what's going to happen until obviously the game starts. But I think Rangers are going to have to worry about balls flying in, at centre halves. They're going to have to worry about people running at them directly. This is not going to be an aerial battle that they're going to have to win. This is about having to deal with young guys who have got a lot of energy in midfield, and it's runners that's going to win this game for Celtic.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the Celtic lineup, because obviously, 99% of it, it picks itself, which tells you that, this is the champions. And you look at that: Gordon, Benkovic, Boyata, Tierney, Lustig, and then middle to front. It has a familiar look about it, Ruffy.
Yeah, it certainly has, and I just said there, you look at McGregor, you look at Christie, and now Sinclair's beginning to show the form he did a couple of years ago. They've all got pace. They're all quite happy to run and take on people, and that's what they'll do. Obviously, as you've said, Brown will just sit there and try and dominate the game, as he usually does, but it's up front that I think the pace will hurt Rangers.
In a straight sort of way, Rogic not being there is not good, actually. When you buy players, you want them to be able to be available to play in big games, and I think Celtic are seething with the whole Australia lineup and his selection.
Yeah, I find it strange that they've not let him stay. But again, I'm looking at that Celtic team. There's a lot of Old Firm experience in that.
Yeah.
You go for Craig Gordon to Lustig to Tierney. It looks if he's going to be fit. Then obviously Scott Brown's the linchpin in the middle of the park. McGregor, Forrest again. I don't know how many Old Firm games he's played. So there's a lot of Old Firm experience with playing at Ibrox, which I'm sure for me that's 100% certain Celtic team that's going to start.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't think it was a great game against Aberdeen, Ruffy, to be perfectly honest with you. But Celtic just seem to be able to, as Brendan Rodgers mentioned, find a way to win. They seem to be able to go through the gears when they need to. Just when you think they're almost pedestrian in their possession, suddenly they just work an opening, wait for the time, and then pick their moment. In a strange sort of way, I think, again, not that it'll have a major outcome, a major impact on the outcome of the game, but I still think Rangers have to score first, or, I think Celtic will, if they score first, dominate it.
Yeah, we'll be in at games at Ibrox when Rangers have scored first, and the whole place is buzzing. And I thought, in other occasions that it's been at Ibrox, they have dominated, and Celtic looked as if they were trying to get back into the game, but they had big players to bring them back into the game. Dembele scored just before half time that lifted everybody. And it's something that Celtic will have to deal with, because I'm still not 100% sure about the back four. You know, I'm still thinking there's a lot of chopping and changing. You know, they're losing goals now that they weren't losing before, and that'll be the inspiration for Rangers to say, look, this defence isn't 100% solid. They don't know who the back four is going to be. I always think Lustig's a wee bit of liability at Ibrox. I think it was a winger came on the last time, tore up my shreds, and that's the success they got. But it's a stupid thing to say, first goal is important, but I would think if Rangers were to get that first goal with 49,000 people behind me, they'll think that this is it.
Who are the most important players for Rangers if they're going to win this?
Well, it's easy to say Alan McGregor and Morelos, but for me, these sort of games are won and lost in the midfield for me. Rangers can't let Scott Brown come to Ibrox and dictate. Simple as that. That's why I think Arfield will play right up against him. He's the most experienced. He's got the legs, he can get about. He knows the game. So I think it's going to be won and lost in the midfield. Because, look, Christie's been a revelation the last couple of months. Callum McGregor, for me, is a top midfielder. Scott Brown, he's getting on, but you know what? He can dictate a game of football. So I think it's important, whoever Rangers play in the middle of the park, that they don't let these guys settle.
I mean, that's the key to it. For me, Ruffy, I look at the sides. Again, I agree with Barry. I think McGregor is massive. He always keeps Rangers in a game to give them hope. Morelos has to score in the big game, as you've also mentioned. But I just look at the Celtic side and I see too many match winners in that side.
I see too many people who will get forward and hurt Rangers in dangerous positions. McGregor will get forward, and if Tierney's playing, he's going to be causing havoc in the last third of the park. You know, we know what McGregor can do. But again, you know, Barry's played in these games. We can talk about how good all these players are. It's on the day, you know, what happens in the atmosphere of the whole situation, what players grab it by the scruff of the neck, because it must be a tremendous game to play in. And even big players, you know, don't always come up with the goods.
Yeah, and the great thing about, obviously, chatting to you two about it is that air of probability, because the great thing about the two of you is you always give me the probabilities which everybody knows about. But, you know, I go back to something which is, and I'll be blunt about it, in the 90s, when Rangers had better players, they won the games. There was always the odd cup game that Celtic might be able to spring a surprise because of, you know, an early goal, and then they managed to get another one. But other than that, it all kind of followed the same pattern. Rangers were too strong, too many good players. Celtic are unbeaten in 12 games against Rangers. Brendan Rodgers now going for his, a reporter highlighted there, 5 wins. I think it's the early 20th century, the last time that happened. 5 wins at Ibrox. I don't see anything other than either, you know, a draw I think would be great for Rangers. I can only see Celtic winning it. And I'm going to go for 2-1. Barry, give me your prediction.
I'll go back to what you said there. I do think Celtic have the better players, but you look at their consistency this season hasn't been there. Yeah. That's why I don't think it's going to be... Look, there's no easy game in the Old Firm, but that's why I don't think Celtic will win this game. Because I think they've been far too inconsistent this season. I do think, I'll go back to it and I'll say, they have got the better players. They have. But listen, Rangers can't lose a game. As simple as that. If they lose a game, they go 6 points behind, and then Celtic also have a game in hand. So I think Rangers are going to keep it tight and try and hit them on the counter. That's the way I think they'll do that. But they need to get up against them. They need to make it uncomfy for them.
And your prediction?
So I'm going 1 each.
1 each in this game?
Yes.
Okay, Ruffy.
See, that's the difference between the two teams. 1 each for Rangers would be a good result. 1 each for Celtic won't be. They'll see that as a negative. They'll want to win this game, you know, and that's the difference of where the two teams are at. And I agree with you that Celtic have got more match winners in their team, so I'm going to go 2-1 as well.
2-1 Celtic. Okay. It's all about opinions. You can give us your opinion as well at PLZ Soccer on Twitter, facebook.com/PLZ Soccer, and of course on YouTube. You can give us all your opinions. We take them on board and reply to as many as we possibly can. What about the fixtures over the course, the last fixtures of 2018? So we've got the predictions for that. Dundee, St Johnstone, Ruffy?
I'm going to go Dundee to St Johnstone 2.
Barry?
2-1 St Johnstone.
Okay, I think that one's going to be 1-1. Hamilton, Motherwell, Ruffy?
I'm going to go another draw, 1 each.
Barry?
0-0.
I'm going to go Hamilton 0, Motherwell 1 on that one, right? The next one is Killie St Mirren, 2-0 Killie.
I'll go 3-0 Kelly.
2-0 Kelly.
Okay. Livingston Aberdeen, Ruffy.
I'm going to go Aberdeen to win this one, 2-1.
Okay, I'll go Aberdeen to win it as well. I think I put down 1-0.
Yep, I'll go 1 each.
Okay, and Hibs against Hearts, the Edinburgh Derby. I'm going to go Hibs 2-1, Barry.
No, I'll go, this is another draw, 1 each.
Hibs 2-1 for me.
Okay, no surprise, no surprise here. Doesn't want to really jeopardise his Hall of Fame entry. Anyway, it's all about opinions. You know, in derby matches, it can swing one way, then the other. You just never know. But we hope all the hype surrounding it, everyone's been talking about it. Let's hope the match actually lives up to it in Glasgow and across all the other fixtures in the Premiership. From our Old Firm special, if you're going to the game, go to the game, enjoy the game, stay safe, go back home safe. Thanks for watching.
The Arnold Clark Reel sale is now on.